My great friend Matt Clanton in Southern California and preferred lender partner, he decided to take a trip a couple weeks back from Southern California to the East Coast with his family, and in the goodness of his heart, he decided to stop in here at the office to host a class dedicated to the VA loan. Now, in my opinion, Matt is the most versed lender on the planet when it comes to VA loans, and the proof's in the pudding. He hosted the class. I think that it could have possibly gone on for 3 hours. The amount of content was incredible. It was non-stop golden nuggets. I was in there, I was like, my brain was buzzing because all the stuff that he was telling us was super valuable. And now here's the fun part. It just so happened that I was referred a client by one of my good friends in Colorado Springs. That client was paired up with another lender. So I said, all right, nice to meet you, client. Nice to meet you, other lender. Let's go find a nice house for you. This client is a veteran, and he was using a VA loan. We get under contract. This particular client was supposed to get a huge lump sum from his previous employer to pay off any of his debts. That way, we could balance out the debt to income ratio. Well, that previous employer never came through. Matter of fact, they didn't ever return his phone calls. Some shady business going on. So we couldn't close on time because he couldn't pay off that debt. The selling agent was calling my phone over and over again. They're furious. They're like, what happened? Why aren't we closing on time? We pushed it back a week, and we pushed it back another week, and we're chipping away at this thing and coming up empty-handed. Well, it just so happened that in that class that Matt Clanton hosted, I learned that the VA loan is the only loan where the seller can pay off the buyer's debts. You heard me right. Now, this particular client owed roughly $19,000. Here's where the real magic happens. The appraisal of the house, when the lender sent out the third-party appraiser, the appraisal report was $19,000 over the contract price. So I called up the lender and I said, hey, did you know that the VA loan can pay off this buyer's debts? He's like, what do you mean? I said, yeah, look it up real quick. So he went on his lender Google thing. He goes, you know what, Greg? I think you're right. I said, well, if I'm right, then I'm taking myself out to ice cream because this is going to be a win. So what do? We increased the price of the contract, $19,000, asked for the seller to cover $19,000 in those costs, submitted the amendment. The amendment went off to underwriting, and then guess what, folks? We got the thumbs up, and we closed on Jim's house this week. All thanks to what the real estate gods have spoken. I mean, this is one of the most craziest stories I've ever been a part of in real estate. Matt Clanton, thank you so much for all you do, man. I mean, you came out here, you educated the wits out of it. I mean, it was amazing. That class you hosted was top tier. The level of detail and the expertise that you bring to the table is incredible. Thank you so much for doing that, Matt. We really appreciate you here over in Austin, Texas at Keller Williams Realty, the first and original Keller Williams office. Yeah, so there's a lot of lessons here. Not all lenders are cut from the same cloth. Not all lenders know everything there is to know about all the loan products. You got to do your due diligence as a consumer. Interview the people, ask the very specific questions. You got to do a little research ahead of time to know what questions to ask, to test their might, so to speak, in the designated space. Thanks for listening to my story. Appreciate it. Seriously, if you guys want to chat about real estate, if you want to chat about wealth building, investing, mindset, especially mindset, I'm huge on that. Drop me a comment, send me a text message. Always happy to help, always happy to book a Zoom call with you, no matter where you're at in the world. I coach people out in Saudi Arabia right now. Hit me up. I got you guys. Make today great.